Good. Good afternoon, everybody. Today I met with our local medical experts and also had a conference call with the White House doctors to go over our next steps as we continue to open up our economy. As you know, Governor DeSantis issued a statewide order on Friday opening all businesses statewide. However, local governments can continue to have public health regulations to make sure all businesses are opening as safely as possible. Over the weekend, I held virtual meetings with the county managers and attorneys of Broward, Monroe, and Palm Beach counties to go over the governor's order. We are working together to have similar rules as much as possible. The good news is our positivity rate and hospitalizations remain low. Just because we can open up more businesses doesn't mean that we can relax the public health rules that have gotten us to this better place during this pandemic. We have to continue to wear masks in public places, indoors and out, have physical distance of at least 6 feet from others, practice good hygiene, and wash your hands often. So here's what we're going to do. On civil citations, enforcement will continue countywide. And let me explain how this applies to the governor's order to suspend payment of civil citations for individuals. We cannot collect a $100 fine for people who are not wearing masks, who are jammed together, or not distanced at 6 feet. I can understand the governor's thinking, which if people aren't working and not getting any income, they won't be able to pay the fines. At the same time, we have a public health mission to make sure COVID-19 doesn't start to spread again as more businesses are open and more people are out and about. So we will continue to issue civil citations for individuals who do not follow the public health rules. And when the governor's orders ends and the suspension of payments ends, the county will pursue collection sometime in the future. This is not to get money for the county. This is a public safety measure. We're continuing the county fines because people who aren't wearing masks or are crowded together at bars or restaurants or anywhere else we find them, they can be exposing each other to the virus, and we do not want to see another spike. And we don't want to overwhelm our hospitals, which would be a disaster for our community. Now on the order guiding restaurants and bars, which I signed on Saturday. State allows counties to continue to set rules and capacity limits so long as there's a minimum of 50% capacity for restaurants, bars, entertainment establishments, and any business with a food service license. Those businesses can go up to 100% capacity. They can arrange their floor space to achieve the physical distance between tables. The county's $500 fine for civil citations for businesses that do not uphold the new normal rules at their establishments remain in place. We can collect those fines and close those businesses, and we will if they violate the rules. Police and code enforcement will be aggressively monitoring businesses, and I will be meeting with mayors and the League of Cities so that we can coordinate enforcement. Also, the second-degree misdemeanor for violations remains in place, which means a fine of up to $500 and up to 180 days in jail for those owners of businesses that ignore the emergency orders. Public health rules remain, and that means bars can't have people crowded around their counters, still need to have physical distance as close to 6 feet apart as possible. Can't have people drinking and eating while walking around, and they must be seated at a table or at a bar counter to eat and drink. Even on the dance floor at clubs, we are requiring masks. At the noise level, again, the noise level, music, etc. Those rules remain in place. This means no loud music or loud TV at sports bars and restaurants. The decibel level, has to be low enough that people can speak to one another without yelling. All the medical experts say that the virus travels in the air, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. Now for sports and parks. I'll be signing an order that lifts some requirements for parks, commercial sports establishments, and organized sports, and the rules are in keeping with the governor's orders. County will allow organized sports and leagues with certain rules that are being worked on now and will be very similar to Broward County's rules on organized sports. Those who are not actively playing and any spectators must continue to wear masks and be apart at least 6 feet. So relaxing the mask order for strenuous activities under organized sports. Let me stress that pickup games are still not allowed without masks. Also, Miami-Dade County parks will not be opening up kiddie playgrounds at this time. We want to see what happens in the next few weeks to our positivity rates. But in keeping with the governor's order, we will allow private businesses that cater to children's activities to have their playgrounds open with daily cleaning of their playground equipment and other new normal rules to be as safe as possible. Now, in protecting our seniors who are at high risk of getting severely ill from the virus, the governor's order opens all businesses, which means that privately run adult daycare centers can be open, but they will have to abide by the county's rules for masks and distancing and all other rules on air quality for their establishments. Deputy Mayor Maurice Kemp is working with state officials to ensure that those private providers know all the safety rules and follow them to protect our seniors. And finally, on the curfew, we will continue the 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. countywide curfew. I realize folks are excited that the Heat are going to the finals. I know I am, but extending the curfew at this time adds more risk, just as bars and restaurants are expanding. So let's celebrate by watching the Heat and Lakers on our TV at home. Remember, they're playing in the bubble, precisely because it's keeping those players safe. Let's have virtual watch parties. Let's enjoy this time in a safe way. So the message today is clear. We're not out of the woods yet. We all have to be socially responsible. Wearing a mask is a sign of respect to protect your loved ones, your friends, our community. Anything less, you're rolling the dice, and that could lead to a very dangerous situation. We're now entering flu season, and our hospitals cannot be overwhelmed as they were after the Memorial Day weekend, where we eventually spiked to over 20% positivity rate, and young people started to get very sick. We're focusing on protecting our seniors and our underserved minority communities because we know they are at much higher risk of getting severely ill. We have a public service campaign underway, and our search teams continue to operate, get the word out as hotspots appear. We're really pushing testing now that all businesses are able to open. The free testing sites are open and the lines are short. So go get tested, even if you do not have symptoms, because you may be spreading the virus and not even know about it.